In every environment on Maui, from mountain to sea, you will find invasive plants and animals introduced by visitors to our island over the past 200 years. Sometimes the impacts of these invasive species are obvious. Sometimes they can go unnoticed, unless they make a very loud noise. Coqui frogs are from Puerto Rico. People believe that they were shipped to Hawaii on plants in the nursery trade. And these little evasive creatures could be a big problem for our island.
They're quite loud. They're essentially the same as like a chainsaw or a weed eater, that kind of pitch and volume. And so if you have like 20,000 of those animals making noise at night, it can be quite loud, which has been problematic for tourism industry and real estate and other things like that.
In the Puna district on the island of Hawaii, the coqui frog population has grown exponentially since the 1980s, and the sound in some areas is very, very loud. But it is not just the noise they make that makes these frogs a serious threat to our island.
The threats they pose to native species particularly are that there's a lot of frogs in a pretty small area here in Hawaii, actually 2 to 3 times more than in their native range. So here we can have over 20,000 frogs in an acre. And so that's a lot of frogs in a pretty small place, and they consume a large quantity of insects per night. If you have a fully infested area, they may be consuming over 170 to 200,000 insects a night, which is a lot. And then the problem with that is that most of our native animals are insects. So that's kind of a problem. Another problem associated with them is because you have so many frogs per acre, just their presence and their mass can actually change the soil composition so that it's more conducive for invasive plants to grow.
Because these little frogs can cause such big problems, Maui Invasive Species Committee is working hard to bring Maui's coqui frog population under control while we still can.
The Maui Invasive Species Committee is one of many projects under the University of Hawaii. So there's other invasive species committees on other islands, there's watershed partnerships. So MISC's niche is to fill the gaps between a lot of these other projects. We're guided by a committee of scientists and the public and other experts from throughout the Pacific to identify the greatest environmental, agricultural, economic, and human quality of life threats to our county.
Because Maui's coqui frog population has not yet spread throughout the island, MISC has been working hard to eradicate coqui frogs in the isolated sites where they have been introduced.
Actually, we started coqui frog control in early 2005. We had 17 known sites, populated sites with coqui infestation. Out of the 17, we got 11 eradicated. The only area we have is Maliko Gulch, which is because of the terrain, is pretty hard to control it in that area. Controlling coqui frog on Maui, there's a couple of methods. We do spray method using citric acid, which is actually a food additive. So it's not harmful to animals, or it might have a little burning on plants. Habitat for coqui frog can range from anything that has moisture in it. Bromeliads, teas, cane grass. Our biggest input is from the community. If they hear a coqui frog, they call us, and then we get out there and try to control it.
We went with MISC on a routine extermination run to learn how they use citric acid to control coqui frogs.
Hello, I'm Asia Acuna. I'm a field worker at MISC. I've been working for 2.5 years on the frog group. Citric acid is a lot safer for people and the environment versus other chemicals, and it does a very effective job of killing the frogs in a fast way.
For this particular site, we've been pretty successful. A couple of times we've been there and here, they have no frog, but then sometimes we come, there's a lot of frogs. So that's telling me frogs are coming in here on maybe plants or equipment or some kind of cargo.
At first, they took us to find individual frogs to capture by hand for close-up inspection. Then, they unrolled the hose connected to the citric acid tank and let it loose on the plants to kill hidden frogs. Even little creatures can drastically change our island. By defending Maui from invaders, big and small, Maui Invasive Species Committee plays an important role in preventing these species from changing Maui's native environments forever.